Hi, everyone. It's Betty Ray again. I'm here with Raphael to bring you the next day on your trip through 30 days to happiness. 30 days of exercises, of thought thinking, of different ways of looking at life so that you can be happy. You know, it is a choice. Raphael says you can look at life and be in the doom and gloom, in the lack of energy, in the feeling of depression, and the feeling that all is lost. Everything is going to, where in a handbasket. But we say to you, no, it isn't. It is all in the attitude of your mind. Your mind and your emotions connect. And whatever you think, so shall you be. Those wise souls from many centuries have said this: as you think, so shall it be. And that means you need to have a guard on your mind. And that's one of the days to happiness, to spend the whole day putting a guard on your mind and paying attention to what you're thinking. Because if you're thinking negative thoughts, you can change it. It's like those little, they're a long time ago, but there used to be a slide thing that was like a binoculars. And you push the slide in and it pushed the other slide out. And you'd look at it in 3D. And so think of your mind like that. If you have a negative doom and gloom kind of a thought in your mind, and if you watch politics, you can feel that way very easily. If you had that doom and gloom in your mind, then push it out with a beautiful picture. Push it out with a picture of a lake that is calm and clear. You can see right down to the bottom. You can see the fish, and it is so beautiful with all of the trees around it and flowers. Whatever turns you on, if you have a different picture of what is beautiful in nature, go there. If you need to be on the beach, go there in your mind. And you're there all by yourself. You don't have to worry about the coronavirus because you have it all in your mind. And that brings you peace. And so this is the discipline of the mind. This is what those wise souls of old knew. This is where, even in the story of Jesus in the 30 days of fasting, that he went into the desert. And the story goes that Jesus was tempted by the devil. After 30 days, he was pretty hungry. He was tempted by the devil to turn that rock into a loaf of bread. And then he went up higher in the mountain and he was tempted to throw yourself off from the mountain. Angels will keep you from touching the ground. He was tempted in all kinds of the seven deadly sins. And yet he resisted. He said, "Get ye behind me, Satan." And that's what you have to say to the Satan within yourself. Everybody has a positive, negative side. I say I have the devil on one shoulder and I have the angel on the other. And when I recognize which is which, I just knock that devil off from my shoulder and I lock him in a box at my feet. And I say, "You stay there." And it works. My immediate reaction is to laugh. And if you can laugh, then, oh my, you have just lifted your energy up and you can smile at the world, which is today's 16th day to happiness. It says, "I will look squarely at each person I meet this day and wish them happiness." And I don't have to say it out loud. I don't have to say, "I wish you happiness." They'll look at you like you really got a little screw loose in your head. But you can think the thought and it's just as good. And even when you're wearing a mask, you can have a smile on your face and they're going to see it. But if you have a frown on your face, they're going to see that too. So wear a mask and wear a smile beneath it. And this is the main idea for today. By wishing happiness for everyone I meet, I will experience happiness within myself. By rejoicing in their good fortune, I will increase my own good fortune. Let me say that again. This inspiration from Raphael is day 16, which says, "I will look squarely at each person I meet this day, and in my mind I will wish them happiness." Strangers and people I know alike. And I have, when a friend comes to visit to help me out in cleaning my house, we hug one another like this because we can't get close to do the real hug. And that is kind of what you're doing in your mind. You're giving a person a hug and you're saying to them, "Oh, I am so happy that you're here," or "I am so happy that you are well." And you can say that on the phone. You can send a smile over the phone. And so, even if you can't look them squarely in the eye, you can wish them a happy day. And by doing that for everyone you meet, it says, "I will experience happiness within myself by rejoicing in their good fortune. I will increase my own good fortune." And so, everyone, today we're live. If you're there, don't hesitate to chat with us, to ask us questions. We do so love to be of service to all of you who come and ask for help. Yes, we do so enjoy it. And I'm kind of scooting around so I can show you my pretty flowers behind me. You know, even though they're artificial, they bring me a great deal of pleasure. And if you can get them in silk or so that it isn't a man-made product, it can put off pretty good energy. But other than man-made products, it's just kind of dead energy. But again, I scoot over because I don't know if you can see it, but the little fairy behind me is looking at, I forgot the name of them, but they're little bells. And they're found in a garden. And a friend of mine who is an artist, he painted that for me. And this one behind me that you can see is let's see if I can put it up so that you can see it. There it goes. There it goes. There is the picture that my son sent me when he was in Rome. And he saw it and he thought of me as the mother who talks to angels. And even though he says, "Mom, I'm a scientist and I have trouble believing that," well, he still honored me with this lovely picture that I present because it is kind of the way it is for all of us, not just Betty Ray who listens to an archangel. Those are the thoughts in your mind. They're like little angels or little devils that want to tell you to do something that you know you shouldn't do, but you do it anyway. Well, you will reap the consequences because that's the law of balance in this world. It is the law of balance that says whatever goes too far one way is going to go back all the way the other way before it comes back into balance. And so if you have negative thoughts, you're probably going to reap the negativity of them, and everything can go wrong in that day. And yet, on the other hand, let me be one to declare that you can have happy thoughts and everything can go wrong anyway. Like when Mercury goes retrograde, this has been one of my biggest things that I find my computer goes kaflooey. I lose documents on it. All kinds of crazy things happen. And it's not because of my mind, it's because of the energy surrounding me. You have to remember everything is energy. And the next step that you maybe don't know and don't want to believe, but all energy is God. Everything that is manifested in the physical world and the non-physical worlds are the energy of God. Everything is the energy of God. And so we say to you this day, be aware that you are God manifesting in a physical world, that you have an opportunity to explore this world and its dimensions and its emotional pull between the positive and the negative poles. This is part of your job as an explorer, as a soul that is exploring a physical world. Think of yourself that way. Think of yourself that way and know that it's okay to explore the negative polarity. It's okay to be in a bad mood. And if you can, enjoy it and look at it as a change of pace. If, like me, I'm mostly positive, there are times, though, when things can try my patience and I can get angry. And oh my students used to say, "Watch out for her. When she gets mad, she really gets mad." And that's the way it works. You have to push me quite a way before I get to the point that I am angry enough at someone that I will show it. And so I tend to choose to be happy. And that's why I wear a smile most of the time. I think I've told this story before, but I'm going to tell it again. I was a vocal music teacher in a junior high school of seventh, eighth, and ninth graders. And one year, I asked to teach a guitar class. So many kids were wanting to learn about guitars. And I said to the counselors, please don't give me any more than 15 to 20 kids. Well, no, they gave me 29 kids. And because everybody wanted to sign up for it. And it was a good class for them to get out those kids that were troublemakers. They would send them to my guitar class. And so I had 30 kids in my classroom, all with their guitars. Some of them were really bad guitars that didn't hold a tune worth a darn. And so the first few days, I had to spend the entire 50 minutes just tuning their guitars. Of course, I'm teaching them how to do it. I'm demonstrating for them how to do it. They're doing it themselves. But then I had to go and check it to make sure that they had it in tune. And that takes a good ear. And I used a little pitch pipe because I didn't trust my ear when all that confusion was going on in the classroom. Because there's no way you're going to keep, well, seventh, eighth, and ninth graders, they lump them all together, quiet during a time when the teacher's not paying attention to them. And so I had to keep telling everybody, I need to hear this guitar. And then they would quiet down again. And then the noise would bubble up again. And that was part of being in the junior high school. Fortunately, I had another vocal music teacher who was brand new at the field. And we would sit afterwards in the choir room that was up on tiers. And we would sit on there and we would talk about the different things that happened. And we would be laughing so hard that tears were flowing down our faces because the antics of children who was, as they say, put the mind in gear before the mouth is engaged. That doesn't work with junior high kids. Whatever goes into their mind comes right out their mouth. And I remember another time, just for that point, where I had a bad hair day. And I don't know where I got it, but I had this wig that was kind of a frosted wig. I had very dark hair at that time. And it was a frosted wig. And so I said, what the heck, I'll wear it. So I wore it, and the kids didn't recognize me. They stood up at the top of the tiers at the door where you come in, and they would open the door and they would see this person with this wig on, and they would say, we have a sub today. And so I carried that through. When I heard it, I wrote on the board, my name was Sullivan at the time, Mrs. Navillis, which is Sullivan spelled backwards. And I watched those kids come in and kind of look at me, and anyway, I spent most of the day keeping those kids thinking I was Mrs. Navillis. And finally, some smart kid went to the secretary in the office and said, has Mrs. Sullivan got a substitute today? And she said, no, why do you ask? And they came running back into the room and said, see, I knew it was you. And I just roared with laughter. Now, can you be playful enough to do things like that? Can you be playful enough to laugh at yourself? Can you be playful and joyful enough to have fun with your day? Well, that makes all the difference. If you can laugh at yourself, if you can put on a persona to fool your students, and believe me, it wasn't hard to do. These kids were so gullible that of course, I was always pretty serious as a teacher, and I was a strong disciplinarian. So they knew that when I had a frown or I pointed my finger, everybody got quiet. And so for me to put on a facade like that, it was kind of out of orbit for them. And so that's why I was able to keep it up for so long. But they would say something, you have shoes just like Mrs. Sullivan. And I said, oh, really? Well, we must have great taste. And I went through and then I would go right back to the lesson, and we would be singing, and I would be teaching theory or something like that. And so are you playful like that? Can you laugh at yourself? Can you tell a joke on yourself? Can you be brave enough not to worry about what other people think about you if you do that? And if you have a relationship where you can tell jokes on one another and know the other person will give you a hug with joy because they can laugh with you, not at you, what a gift that is. What a gift it is. So give that gift to yourself. And since you cannot smile at people today because of masks, smile at yourself in the mirror and anybody else that is living in the house with you. Smile at them, give them a hug, and tell them how much you love them. And be happy, knowing that it is a choice, dear ones. Be happy. And again, if anybody is there and would like to make a comment or make a live question for Raphael, this is what we're here at 11 o'clock every day. And believe me, that's sometimes hard to do if I don't sleep until 5 o'clock in the morning, like I did last night, or rather this morning. And because sleep gets kind of erratic when you live alone and you're confined to your house and you hardly ever go out, and it gets pretty boring. And so I keep busy. I do a lot of writing, and I watch TV, but I discipline myself not to watch TV until after 6 o'clock at night to start with the news. And then I'll watch TV. Otherwise, I'll have a good book that I read, or I'll be writing on the computer, or I'll be praying, because it is something that everybody can do in this pandemic. It's a time to learn how to be into meditation. And how do you do that? You do it by deep breathing that goes all the way down to your gut. You do that, and then you keep your shoulders relaxed. And as you're doing that abdominal breathing, you imagine yourself in that beautiful place in nature. If you want to be on the beach, then be on the beach in your mind. And no one else is there. And the waves are coming in. And the sun is shining, not too hot. You don't even have to wear sunscreen in this vision within your mind. And it will calm your body, and it will calm your mind, and you will rejuvenate. Your body can get as much rejuvenation as though you had 8 hours sleep. When you do this deep abdominal breathing, relaxing the body, and visualizing someplace where you can be happy. So try that today. Try spending a few minutes by yourself, even if you have to lock yourself in the bathroom and tell everybody, don't bother me, but at least do that and breathe deeply. And Raphael is always encouraging people, breathe deeply every day. Stop doing this shallow breathing that goes like this. And it tightens up your neck because all of the breath is up in the top part of your lungs. And even though I'm breathing through that breath, my gut is tightening up because I can't automatically do it. I can't do it to shallow breathing anymore. I was taught as a singer to do abdominal breathing. Well, actually, I was taught as a mother because we went to these classes to learn how to give childbirth. And they taught us abdominal breathing because we could breathe through the pain of childbirth. And it worked. It really works. So if you have pain of any sort, you can breathe through it and it will help you to accept the pain. And so here we are again. It's time for me to give you the day back. And thank you for coming in. Please tell people about our channel. We come only to bring you gift of happiness. We come only to bring you ideas and ways to be happy. And so on this 16th day of happiness, practice the different things that we have given you. And do come back again tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And if you have questions for Raphael, please come then and ask them. We have a live chat when you come at 11 o'clock. It's live. You can ask questions, and we will be happy to ask Raphael to answer them for you. And if they're too personal, then we'll ask you again to email us at angelbettyray@gmail.com. If you have a question and you're too shy to ask it, then email us for a conference time with Raphael, and the question will be answered. Okay, here's my friend, William. He's back again. He says, good morning, Betty. Questions are, as humanity evolves, what will be some of the new and improved humans? Oh, what will the new humans be like? They'll be happy, William. They'll be happy because they'll rejoice in that their life finally comes back to normal. With the pandemic, we can't expect any miracles there. Everybody's rushing to find the cure for this pandemic. And in fact, my youngest son is a molecular genetic scientist, and he has put in for the ability to find a cure, he and his team of scientists. And I am so proud of him to know that this is something that he is contributing. And so I wish him well in being able to get grant from the government to try to find a cure for this pandemic. And so thank you for asking that, but that's what happens. These are about humanity evolving. This is where people are reaching out to people. This is where our consciousness is being raised. I'm stumbling over my words. Raphael predicted this, oh gosh, years ago. He said, watch for the change in people when they start raising their consciousness. And he said, you will notice it by the transparency in politics. And oh my gosh, with the way things are with Twitter and people being able to respond, the transparency is there. Someone can say, oh, I didn't do that, or I didn't say that. And then you have some reporter that flashes back to the scene and puts it on there. There's that person saying it side by side with the same person saying, I never said that. It doesn't work anymore, does it? So Raphael, he predicted that, probably about 8 years ago. He said, watch for the transparency in politics, and you will know that the consciousness of humankind is being raised. And what that means is that more and more people are awakening. More and more people are realizing that they are spirit beings as well as sentient beings on a planet. More and more people are lifting up their consciousness out of fear and anxiety and in rejoicing that, yes, there is justice in the world. There will be justice in the world. Don't ever worry about that. It's not up to you, nor is it God to create justice. This is just the way the system works. It's called the law of love and the law of balance. Because whenever you get out of balance by going too far into one of the polarities, then what usually happens is that you get in a position where you get to view all of that. And then you say, well, that wasn't so good. So you come back to center, you come back to balance. And that's what's happening. More and more people are raising their consciousness. This is a good time to be on planet Earth. And we say this to you, that it is, humanity is making a quantum leap. And it is going to find that more and more people are going to have empathy and compassion for one another. More and more people are going to stand up for one another against tyranny. More and more people are going to march for justice. And that is a sign of the times. Humanity is raising its consciousness. And yet we still have to work with the devil. And we asked quite a while back and had quite a few responses when the question was, as our president the Antichrist? And we compared our president to the 7 deadly sins. And if you take a look at the 7 deadly sins, you'll be able to see where, yes, every single one of them has been experienced by our president. And so this requires balance. And that is coming. Balance is coming, William. And know that, yes, in the raising of consciousness, you had asked last time, will it have spontaneous remission of illnesses? Not necessarily, because you cannot go against the laws of physics. It's a wave of energy that has to do with consciousness, that has to do with the raising of one's, not intellect so much as one's spirituality, of a raising of consciousness that we are all one in this soup together. We are all one here together, and we do whatever we can to be of assistance to others, to have compassion for others, to have love for all of humanity, to have love for our planet enough to come up with a new deal that can actually help us to heal our planet. And that's coming. That's the kind of healing. But it won't be miracles. There won't be miracles in the respect that in an instant people will be healed. There'll be that raising of consciousness where people will no longer be so self-centered and will be more into global centeredness, to knowing that we are all one within God. And so thank you for joining me. Is there anyone else here that has a question for us? And again, we thank you for coming. We thank you, and please don't hesitate to call us for more information from Raphael. you can set up a free conference with the Archangel, and all you have to do is schedule a reading by emailing us at angelbettyray@gmail.com. And I'll spell angel ANGEL because some people get those two parts backwards. And so don't hesitate, angelbettyray@gmail.com, and we will be happy to schedule a time that works for both of us. We are in Eastern Standard Time here in Florida. And so for those of you, hopefully, that are listening all across the globe, don't hesitate to give us a call through the email, and we can do a phone conversation. Obviously, I don't do in-person conferences with the Archangel during this pandemic, but the phone works just fine. We have no problems hearing the Archangel and sharing that with you. So thank you for coming today. Thank you for trying to do these 30 days to happiness. And we'll be back again tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Please share this video with others, and please subscribe to our channel. We are trying to do the work of Raphael, and we are trying to raise consciousness. That's part of why we're here. I say that's part of why I'm still here, even though my birthday's coming up this week, and I will be doing a Zoom meeting with all of my family. Isn't that wonderful? My daughter brought that together. And so my 86th birthday is coming up very soon. And we are more than happy to say we're still here to be with you. And William is back again, and he says, rise up and light up humanity. That's his word to the world. And he says, thank you, Betty, for being a light during this time. And you are so welcome, William. Thank you for being there for me. You kind of give me goosies. Thank you so much. And be like this person in this picture above. Allow the angels to speak to you. Go into meditation. If you have to be confined, what a glorious time to learn to meditate. What a glorious time. And William, this is the way you lift yourself out of physical pain. You go into such a deep meditation, you don't feel a thing. And so we say, be like this woman in the picture. Listen to your angels' guidance. Listen to their uplifting messages, because they are there to give you that. And be like this little fairy. I'm going to move over. This little fairy, it doesn't show up with the, isn't it terrible? I can't. Lilies of the Valley. There they are. I remember it. She is just this tiny little fairy, and she's looking up at these lilies of the valley. What a delightful picture. And I do believe in fairies. I do believe they are the keepers of the Garden of Eden, which is what we are. They are the ones that help make a garden beautiful. We have to give them nourishment by our love and by our encouragement to keep our gardens healthy. And I know of a friend who's put in a beautiful garden, but she has to bring that hose around and water it when it doesn't get enough water. She has to pull the weeds from it. And that is something that can be very backbreaking. So everything you plant needs nourishment. Every idea that you get needs nourishment. And those ideas that come that do not give you what you desire, you just pretend you have those little binoculars on, and you take that slide of negativity and you push a positive one into that slide, so all you're seeing is a positive one and the negative one falls out. Use visuals to help you to be happy. That's just another clue. Your imagination is the key to happiness. If you can't imagine a beautiful place in nature that you can put yourself in when you go into a deep meditation, then you've got to work and practice on that. And visualizing, learning how to see things inside your head. So practice that this week. And also practice that if you get a chance to look at somebody squarely in the eye, wish them happiness for this day. And if you can't actually if you have to wear a mask and they can't see your smile, smile at them anyway. Smile at every stranger that you meet, and in your mind and in your heart, and sometimes use your voice. I wish you a happy day. What a glorious thing to do for fellow human beings. And so with that, dear friends, we will talk to you again tomorrow, 11 o'clock, until we're finished with the 30 days, and then I'll take a break. Until then, God bless each of you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.